Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. I'm your host, G.I. Wingnut. Welcome back to my channel. I'm down here by the Missouri River, kind of sort of out on vacation, but I stumbled across something a frustration that I'm trying to get past, and I actually recognize what's going on, but still, I'm focused, I'm driven, and I'm still trying to help pull people out of the MAGA cult. And on that, there's a quote that's attributed to Mark Twain, and its origins are actually debated, but no amount of evidence will persuade an idiot. It's about cognitive bias. When you have your heart and mind set on believing something, then if you are that dedicated to it, if you're that emotionally invested in it, then no amount of evidence is ever going to change your mind. So that frustration and realization and work through is over this Abrego Garcia MS-13 photoshopped picture. And I'm challenging people that believe that picture is real and not photoshopped to take it down to their local tattoo studio and ask a licensed artist what they think of that graphic. You can check my advocacy credits in my bio, but I'm actively pursuing getting into this homelessness advocacy, and I've got a network that's coming together pretty quickly, or probably will. I've got several people that are interested, but I'm having to move in a direction that I'm different from what I had mentioned in the last video. That's just unfortunately how it's going to be. There's somebody driving up the road, so I'm just going to pause here for a moment. So one of the other things that I find interesting is that one of the folks I used to work with, he and I ended up having differences of viewpoint, starting with my lack of convincing of Alex Jones's work, especially looking into Alex Jones' family and noting the intelligence community ties. Oh, I got another vehicle coming. I just let them roll by. They're going quicker. But recently I've been hearing Nick Fuentes, Alex Jones, Candace Owens, they're all having problems with the current administration. I mean, Alex Jones is like, yo, Donnie, you took it a step too far when you started talking about deporting U.S. citizens. I don't know if you're tracking the news. I heard that the bill passed the House to give authorization to deport United States citizens. And I also have heard that the Senate says it's not going to pass. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm troubled about that. I'm working on projects, though. I'm working on projects to try to help mitigate things. That said, one of the campaigns that I've been working on lately, personally and for other individuals, is about accountability for people who do bad things, especially when minors are being affected directly. I call it Preachers Gone Bad. That's primarily where I'm focusing, because the followers of the MAGA cult think that the big problem is in public schools, and I'm not finding that evidence. And and I'm adjacent to the public school system. I got grandkids in it. My girlfriend works in them. It's propaganda is irritating. But anyway, I'm trying to get to this point here. Because of Mike Bickle at IHOP KC, International House of Prayer in Kansas City, and there's a couple of gals that stepped up in Jeff City and gave testimony, victim impact statements, in reference to what they dealt with at IHOP KC, and that's only just 2 or 3 of the women or people that have been affected there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Wake Up and Win podcast has a lot on it. They do really good work. I may not be completely ideologically aligned with them, but they do solid work, and so I'm willing to support them. They've made some what I consider positive changes in their life. I mean, they're actually spearheading a movement in this new generation of charismatics where they're setting up accountability systems for the higher ministry, because they see where there's problems in that network of Christian faith. And I'm using broad terms here, so please don't get silly about it. But in that particular network of Christianity, this younger generation, these 30-somethings and 40-somethings are really disgusted with the behavior of characters like Mike Bickle and Dr. Mike Brown and the Lambs and Robert Morris and if you want to know all the ands, go check out Not By Sight News on YouTube. That's all he does. And God bless the man. I'm glad he can do it. I've reached burnout on that. I can only look at so much. I'm building up to a point here. If you don't know the issues around Kanakuk camps, the Trey's Law thing, which was also introduced in Texas as well as in Missouri, go check out Fundie Fridays. That's Fundie, Fundie Fridays, and check out their Reverend Jen's piece, Reverend Jen's piece on Kanakuk camps. It's a 3-hour investment, folks, but it will give you insight into what I'm getting ready to read out. Those witness impact statements got this bill out of the Judiciary Committee in the Senate and out onto the Senate floor. I'm talking about Missouri Senate Bill 43. And so I'm going to switch over to another one of my apps so that I can read out the bill for you, to let you know all the changes that have been written into this bill and what each one of those categories means. So give me a moment. I'll be right back. Here we go. Missouri Senate. This is from senate.mo.gov. I'll put the links down below. I'll try to remember to get all the links together for all this stuff. But anyway, Missouri Senate, SB43, modifies provisions related to child protection. Sponsor, Fitzwater. LR number 1205H.06C. Committee, Families, Seniors, and Health. Last action, 5/1/2025, it was referred to the House Rules Legislative Committee. There's the journal page H2317, title HCS SS SB43, effective date August 28th, 2025. House Handler Hossman. Current bill summary. SB43. This act modifies several provisions relating to child protection, including 1. Youth Opportunities and Violence Prevention Tax Credit. 2. Children's Division Service Provider Contracts. 3. Services for Youth. 4. Child Abuse Investigations. 5. child's counsel. Number 6, age of marriage. Number 7, enforcement of child custody and visitation orders. Number 8, civil actions for childhood sexual abuse. And number 9, endangering the welfare of a child in the first degree. They're going to describe each one of these. Youth Opportunities and Violence Prevention Tax Credit, Section 135.460. Current law authorizes a tax credit in the amount of 50% of contributions made to certain youth programs. This act increases such tax credit to 70% of the amount of such contributions made. This provision is identical to a provision in SB 126, 2025, SB 1179 in 2024. We got House Bill 1483 in 2024, House Bill 1935 in 2024, House Bill 2089 2024. Let's see. Senate Bill 455 in 2023, Senate Bill 143 in 2023, and House Bill 714 in 2023. So they're, in this particular section, they're pointing to the fact that there is a precedent for this happening. Let's move on. Children's Division Service Provider Contracts, Section 210.112. Under this Act, provisions in service provider contracts with the Children's Division in which the state is indemnified, held harmless, or insured for damages, claims, losses, or expenses arising from any injury caused by or resulting from the state's negligence shall be void as against public policy and unenforceable. This provision is identical to a provision in Senate Bill 143 in 2025. Services for Youth, Section 210.119. Under this Act, the Department of Social Services shall establish a program to provide a comprehensive system of service delivery, education, and residential care for youth with severe behavioral challenges. In order to be eligible for the program, a youth shall be under 21 years of age, in the custody of the Department of Social Services, and a team in the department shall have made a determination that the needs of the youth cannot be met with the existing programs. The department shall have the authority to contract with qualified services providers to provide services to the youth under this Act. Such service providers shall be certified, licensed, or accredited in their respective fields of service, based in Missouri, and entitles with proven experiences in the area for which they shall provide services. A qualified service provider providing services under this Act shall have immunity as specified in the Act. The department shall be authorized to enter into memoranda of understanding with any facility or campus under state ownership that is appropriate for the program and youth being served. I like the idea that they're doing targeted services because, yeah, sure, there's differences in trauma. I'll just leave it at that. Child Abuse Investigations, Section 210.145. Under this Act, if an alleged child abuse perpetrator is present during an investigation by the Children's Division, the caseworker shall identify themselves and their role in the investigation. When visiting the home of an abused child or another child who may have witnessed the abuse, the caseworker shall inform the child's parent or guardian that neither the child nor the parent or guardians is required to speak with the caseworker. Allow the caseworker to enter the home or otherwise provide the caseworker with access to the child without a warrant or court order, as well as inform the parents or guardian that they have the right to contact an attorney. So, yeah, this is just like any other authority figure, particularly police officers. identifying themselves and letting folks know that they don't have to talk to you and that they can reach out to an attorney. It's that easy. So, yeah, but not everybody's that cooperative. All right, so the next section is Child's Counsel, sections 210.145, 210.160, 210.560, 210.565, 210.762, 211.032, 211.211, 211.261, 211.462, 477.700, 477.705, 477.410, and 477.715. Wow, what we got going on here, that's a whole lot of impact right there. Beginning January 1st, 2028, unless operating under a pilot project established by the Missouri Supreme Court, a judge shall appoint a child's counsel instead of a guardian ad litem, GAL, for youth in certain proceedings who are at least 14 years but less than 18 years of age. If the child has a guardian ad litem at the time of his or her 14th birthday, that guardian ad litem shall automatically become the child's counsel, unless the judge determines that it is necessary to continue the guardian ad litem appointment due as specified in the Act. The same attorney may serve as a guardian ad litem and child's counsel for a sibling group of varying ages unless the attorney or judge finds a conflict of interest. This act creates the Child and Family Legal Representation Coordinating Commission within the judicial branch, with 9 members appointed by the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court with duties as described in the Act. Including working cooperatively with various judicial courts, judicial personnel, attorneys, and the state departments and agencies to ensure uniform, high-quality legal representation for children or families involved in legal proceedings, and making recommendations to the Missouri Supreme Court concerning the establishment or modification of the minimum training requirements and practice standards for attorneys serving as guardians ad litem, children's counsel, or parents' counsel. The coordinating commission may also develop, coordinate, and evaluate pilot projects relating to guardian ad litems, children's counsel, and or parent counsel, and outcomes relating to the various models of representation, as well as implementation of the children's counsel appointment provisions of this Act. This Act creates the Child and Family Legal Representation Fund in the State Treasury to be distributed by the Coordinating Commission to the judicial circuits for the purpose of improving or providing legal representation for children or families, including the appointment of guardians ad litem, children's counsel, or parents' counsel. Under this Act, a circuit may participate in a pilot project established by the Missouri Supreme Court relating to guardians ad litem, children's counsel, or parents' counsel, in which case a judge may appoint a child's counsel instead of a guardian ad litem. This provision shall expire on January 1st, 2028. But wait, I thought at the beginning on January 1, 2028, unless operating under. Okay, so they're giving a deadline for this provision to happen, but I don't know why it expires the date. I guess maybe that's the deadline for getting the child's counsel, guardian ad litem, child's counsel, and parents' counsel set up. All right, I'm gonna have to look into that a little deeper to see what the further ranging impact is. Next up is age of marriage, and this has been a point of contention with me when it comes to Missouri Republicans. But age of marriage, sections 451 or .040, 451.080, and 451.090. Currently, no marriage license shall be issued in Missouri to individuals under 16 years of age, or issued when one party in the marriage is under 18 years of age and the other party is over 21 years of age. Additionally, no marriage license shall be issued to any party if any party to the marriage is under 18 under 18 years of age without parental consent. This act repeals those provisions, and no marriage license shall be issued in Missouri for individuals under the age of 18. These provisions are identical to the perfected SB46 in 2025 and substantially similar to SB 631 from 2025 and SBs 767 and 1342 of 2024. And it was SB 767 that really caught my attention about this whole age of marriage thing, because SB 767 in 2024 was passed with in the Senate with a due pass when they sent it to the Business and Labor, the Government Efficiency, Downsizing and Government Efficiency Committee over in the Republican-held House. And there was another bill that was in the House that was, I forget the number on it, but the House bill was supposed to provide protections for anybody under the age of 18 that was working inside of an LLC. And those protections were from internal arbitration, which is where a business handles the injury settlements in-house instead of having outside counsel. So when that bill was shot down, it also shot down the marriage bill, which, just like this, says individuals under 18 shall not be married. So there's a lot going on there. I just need to move right along. Enforcement of child custody and visitation orders, section 452.425. Currently, a court order for custody of or visitation with a child may include a provision that the sheriff or other law enforcement shall enforce the rights of any person to custody or visitation. This act requires that such provision be included in custody or visitation orders. This provision is identical to a provision in the perfected Senate Bills 767 and 1342 of 2024. So what they're talking about here is let the kids say something about which parent they want to go visit. This provision is designed to combat that baby mama, baby daddy thing, so that kids are not weaponized against the other parent, which I'm in favor of. Okay, moving on. Trying to get this finished up. Almost done. So, civil actions for child sexual abuse. Section 537.046. This act modifies the offenses included in the definition of child sexual abuse for civil actions to recover damages from injury or illness caused by child or CSA. The act shall apply to the action commenced on or after August 21st, 2025. So this is only going to be helping future generations. All right? It doesn't really do anything for the past generations except to give them the solace that children in the future will be protected. Anyway, this act shall apply to any action commenced on or after August 28th, 2025, including those that would have been barred by the application of the statute of limitations prior to August 28th, 2025. So this is striking out against those non-disclosure agreements in CSA cases. The provision goes on to read, this act also provides that a non-disclosure agreement by any party to a CSA action shall not be judicially enforceable in a dispute involving CSA allegations or claims and shall be void. Like I said, this is to help the kids. This is to protect them from the legitimate predators. It concludes with, this provision is identical to Senate Bill 590 of 2025 and similar to the provision in Senate Bill 1063 of 2024 and Senate Bill 1092 in 2024. In the last section, endangering the welfare of a child in the first degree, Section 568.045. Currently, a person commits the offense of endangering the welfare of a child in the first degree if he or she knowingly engages in sexual conduct with a person under the age of 17 years, over whom the person is a parent, guardian, or otherwise charged with the care and custody of the child. This act changes the age of the child from under 17 to under 18. The human brain doesn't finish developing, isn't done developing until about 25 years of age. So I see this as a very healthy move. And this is going to stop people from working to protect child marriage. I've heard people testify to me, tell me about their own marriages where they got married young. And I'm glad it worked out for them, but most of the time it doesn't. The vast majority of the time, it doesn't. Especially when the bride is 12 and the groom is a dirty old man. Anyway, I am so happy to see Senate Bill 43 rolling through. If you're in Missouri and you see a sign that says, support Senate Bill 43, call your legislator, that may be me. Or maybe it'll catch on. I don't know. But I got friends and we're working on it. So, with all that said, folks, until the next video, take care of one another, man. It's going to take a community to get through the rough times that are ahead. I've been looking at what's going on in shipping. That's actually the name of the YouTube channel, because I'm a logistics guy, and this on again, off again tariff nonsense is really interrupting the international shipping market, and it's going to have an impact on our supply line and our supply chain, and it's going to take community, man. Take care of one another. Mental health matters. Get plenty of rest. Drink plenty of water. Take care of yourself.